Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung out and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ethan Simpson, sitting across the internet from my main man,
Brendan Ward.
Sorry, that way.
Yeah, I'm over here.
So let me ask you one question. What is that shirt you're wearing?
Oh, you know, just the numbers don't lie. Any Given Podcast shirt created by you yourself.
Hey, Marley, give me that. Give me that shirt you're wearing right now. Marley, give that to me. Oh. Marley was just wearing this. Numbers don't lie. Oh.
I mean,
Numbers don't lie. That's the same shirt you're wearing? The same one that my dog was wearing?
yes, absolutely. I mean, why not? This is the dog. They are the dog pound for a reason. So it's a shirt so good you can wear it yourself or you could get it for your dog. Aren't going to want to miss it, but we just need to know where they can get it.
Where can you get this beauty from? Where can you get this beauty from? I can tell you where you can get that beauty from. That is KentStagePosters.com. Yes, you heard me correct. KentStagePosters.com.
Boom, right there. What else can we get at KentStagePosters.com, Ethan? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me myself, but just to tell the guys, some of them can't figure it out. What else can they get at KentStagePosters.com?
KentStagePosters.com. I don't know. You can get multiple Todd Rundgren posters. You can get Robert Cray. You can get the Blind Boys of Alabama. You can get so many posters. It's crazy how many posters you can get from there. Almost every single one of your favorite artists that have come through the Kent stage. Like I said, almost every single one of your favorite artists.
And I mean, it's only going to be a growing list with everything that's coming back here in 2021.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Have you heard of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, heard of him. Watch him in a
Bacon
couple
Brothers.
movies.
You can get that poster.
Nice. Not gonna want to miss it because there's just so much to offer at KentStagePosters.com. Shirts, posters. They offer bundles. Get yours. Inexpensive, perfect gift. Everything you can get can be all of those can describe either a poster or the Numbers Don't Lie shirt, especially if you're from the area and have visited the Kent stage. Whew, that was a long-winded one. Got caught up there. What else you got to say for me, Ethan?
So, pardon me. It's these allergies, huh? Get y'all stuffed up. Got y'all. So, speaking of Kent Stage posters, we have more artists. Oh my gosh, I mean, people in the Rock Hall. We hit David Crosby posters, Graham Nash posters. You know, we have so many posters. Like I said, it's crazy
I like how you had Crosby and Nash, but didn't finish it with Stills.
Steven Stills. Yes, we have Steven Stills as well. I'm sorry. That's all. I dropped the ball on that one.
All good, my man. But you want to go ahead and move on to the last week that was sports.
Yes. So, obviously, 4th of July weekend, and we had the reigning champion, Joey the Jaws Chestnut. Joey the Jaws Chestnut set the record with 75 hot dogs eaten in 10 minutes. Guess what he did?
Probably ate a bunch of hot dogs.
76 hot dogs. He broke his own record, and I mean, he went absolutely bonkers at the Nathan's famous hot dog eating or International Hot Dog Eating Championship contest, whatever you want to call it, this weekend on the 4th of July. I mean, he went insane. It was disgusting to watch. I cannot watch these people eat that many hot dogs, but I will keep track of the counter on the side.
Yeah, it's a little wild to think about, right? 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I'm not sure I've eaten 76 hot dogs in the past 3 or 4 years. Now I'm a guy that'll tell you that I do have some sort of love for a hot dog. Big fan of the jumbo beef hot dogs. Nathan's themselves do a very good hot dog. But even so, I'm not sure I've eaten 76 hot dogs in the span of the last few years. This man just did it in 10 minutes and probably does that sort of thing on the regular, because you don't just show up and eat 76 hot dogs in one day in 10 minutes. You don't get the nickname Jaws for no reason. You don't win 14 mustard belts for no reason. You aren't, I didn't even know this was a thing, but you aren't the MRE's #1 ranked eater for no reason. You're typically eating hot dogs on the regular if you're Joey Jaws Chestnut, and to see him do his thing, despite some broadcast issues with ESPN. It's something, like you said, that's disgusting to watch. So thankfully we only have to take it in one time a year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just sitting there like, look, I enjoy eating hot dogs. Where am I at? There we go. So, I enjoy eating hot dogs. I could smash 76 hot dogs, no problem, without a bun. He had them with bun, and, they dip them in water, and then they just shove them in their mouth, and it's just like, after probably the first 2 minutes, it's like, okay, this is gross.
You've got soaked hot dog bun like falling out of their mouth and stuff, and you can only imagine that. Just like, I feel like that would just ruin it. The water itself ruins it for me. I mean, I guess I understand the need for being able to slide it down in there, but I'd rather just sit there and chew the crap out of one hot dog. I can eat that in 10 seconds. But more power to him, because it's obviously making Chestnut a household name and quite a bit of money.
Absolutely, and I enjoy hot dogs with ballpark mustard, just like you do, we talked about.
Oh yeah.
It's just I did I freeze?
No, you're all good. You're here.
Okay. So, just like you, I enjoy ballpark mustard on my hot dogs, and I enjoy to eat them. You know what? Hey, maybe in a minute, but not dunking them in water and then shoving them in your mouth. But hey, he ate 26 more hot dogs than the person in second place. Person in second place was at 50. He was at 76. So, hey, good on him, man.
I think that's the craziest thing to me. The 76 hot dogs I can get past because he's done just about that before. You know what I'm saying? But to just there be absolutely zero competition. 26 hot dogs was the deficit that guy lost by, and there were some people in the competition that didn't even eat 26. So for that being that big of a margin, he just is the elite of elite at eating. And it's weird, a weird thing to talk about. You want to hear my hot take on hot dogs? You brought up stadium mustard. I'll say that there's not ballpark mustard. There you go. I'll say that there is not a condiment in the world that doesn't go good on a hot dog.
Okay. All right, you want to get into this?
Give me ketchup yeah, we could get into it, bro. Give me ketchup and mustard. Give me ballpark mustard. Give me relish and onions. Give me chili and cheese. Give me like onions and bacon. Give me it all. That's my point here. Like what
hot dog? All right.
What condiment or hot dog accessory can you name that just doesn't go good on the hot dog?
Ketchup, relish, onions. I can go on. Do you want me to go on?
You don't like onions or relish on a hot dog, man?
No.
Because sometimes
I like onions. I like onions on cheeseburgers.
I like diced onions on a hot dog.
All right. Hey, that's not me. I'm an old school guy. One thing you should know, and any viewer of the podcast should know this, I'm an old school guy.
Straight ballpark mustard.
I spent all day watching X-Files.
I get it.
Okay.
Get it.
I watched Twilight Zone. I watched Alfred Hitchcock. I'm an old school guy, so I like old school things. The only new school thing I can agree on is wearing batting gloves when you're batting. That's about it. I don't want ketchup on my hot dogs. Ketchup on hot dogs is for little kids. When they dice them up and they make macaroni and cheese. Anytime I go to Progressive Field, the only thing I put on my hot dogs is Burtman's ballpark mustard.
It's weird for me, bro, because like I get what you're saying, because it's hard to beat that ballpark mustard. Definitely top 2 for me, and it's probably number 1. Sometimes, man, and it's weird because I don't really like ketchup, and I don't really like yellow mustard that much. But for some reason, if you take both of them and put them on a hot dog, it makes this magical creation that's something different. It's weird. It's very, very weird. But it's simplistic because everywhere you go, every cookout you end up at, they don't start with ballpark mustard. That's something for me and you. That's something we do that not the majority of people do. So learning to love that ketchup and mustard on that hot dog allowed me to be able to, even at cookouts where they're very simplistic, I still have a condiment to put on my hot dog, and I'm not just eating a dog on a bun.
Okay, well, okay, I get what you're saying, but in that case, yellow mustard is just fine. No problem with that. Let me ask you this question. Would you put mayonnaise on a hot dog?
Mayonnaise is probably my favorite condiment when it comes to beef. But on a hot dog, I don't think so.
I ate a hot dog today with mayonnaise on it, and it was very much delicious.
To be like I said, I really do like mayonnaise on most things. So like sandwiches or burgers. So I definitely try it. I just don't know if I have.
It's not bad. You should try it.
You're talking to a guy who puts sour cream in his ramen noodles. So
That, you know what? I haven't tried it, but I would try that.
it's fantastic. And
Are you talking about the chicken?
Yeah,
Chicken.
chicken. Who
Chicken
eats beef?
ramens?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if I've eaten beef in ramen in like 15 years. You got to only go chicken. But back to sports. Now that we've gotten into a food conversation, we're gonna go ahead and move on. USA women's track star. Sorry if I butcher the name. Sha'Carri Richardson has now been suspended for 1 month by the Olympics Committee. That is after at the U.S. time trials in June, testing positive for marijuana. Sha'Carri did admit. I'm gonna stop calling her by her first name. Miss Richardson did admit to ingesting marijuana recently after a reporter at the trials events informed her of the death of her mother. So this one right here is very torn because I truly will say that, and I really just wrote where do you land on this, but I'll truly say it's one of those catch-22 things because as somebody who enjoys sports in their purest form, the rules are the rules. You knew that test was coming and you did it, and that's why you admitted to it afterwards. And really, we're arguing it, and Richardson is sitting at home accepting her punishment and kind of moving on. I don't punishment is so derogatory. Just accepting her suspension that came from it and moving on. The biggest argument being made, and I'll kick it to you, is should this have been as big of a story as it was, or because they shouldn't be testing for it, or were the rules, and why is it even a story? She tested positive. Anybody that tests positive in an organization where that's a rule has this sort of repercussion happen.
So, smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, smoke weed. You want to smoke weed? Cool. Here's the thing, though. The Olympic Committee is international. This is not some American thing. This is not Team USA suspending her because some BS. No, this is every single country has to respond to the Olympic Committee. So when she smokes weed, how many countries in the world have weed as an illegal substance, you know? So that's the one thing. Okay, I understand her suspension just because of that point alone.
Yeah.
Do I think it's right? No, I don't think it's right. People should be able to smoke weed, and because weed is not a bad thing. People, like doctors recommend weed for people that are sick, like terminally ill. So should she be suspended and not be able to go to the Olympics because she smoked weed? No, I don't think that's right. But that is, that's their rules, and she had to abide by it. And you know what's messed up? If anything, that reporter should be kicked out of any Olympic activity for after she got done running, telling her that her mother died. That's too far. He should not have had the right to do that. Let her family tell her that her mother passed away.
I agree with you on that. I'm just trying to imagine the situation where a reporter, and we work in media, so we understand that reporters ask questions, and they sometimes ask questions that even the outside fan isn't going to understand. But I'm trying to understand the situation where a reporter, at an Olympic time trial event, Prior to Richardson running one of the fastest times ever for a woman in a 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Prior to that, the reporter decided that it was her choice and her responsibility to inform her of her mother's death, and not like her team or somebody that's going to sit her down and explain it. We're going to ask in a press conference about it and let her know about it in a press conference type situation. It's like you said, it's just not something that should have happened. It's not good for podcasting. It's not good for radio. But I'm going to say I agree with you. Weed is weed, man.
Right.
It's something your darkest route is the refrigerator, and your darkest depth of getting into it is going to be as far as you could reach down in your refrigerator to find something you want to eat. It's not performance enhancing. The Olympics Committee even said that they're not calling it a PED, they're calling it a substance that's detrimental to the human body, and that's why it is banned.
Which is total bullshit, by the way.
Well, especially with science so far backing the fact that it's very helpful to the human health and body. So it's very, but like you said, that rule is in place, and America can't change it.
Mm-hmm.
This I don't know the exact number of countries that are represented in the Olympics, but I figure it's well above 50.
Yeah,
It might even reach the century mark. But I don't think so. So somewhere between 50 and 100 countries would have to get together and be like, well, weed isn't that bad, so we should let her run. And that's just not something you could do even in a month.
Well, here's the thing. So, under the Olympic Committee, so there's countries like, Russia, the Eastern European countries. There's countries like Japan and Korea, and I think India and other countries like that, to where they think that smoking weed should be a felony. So that's the whole thing, is why they have those rules in order, because it's so messed up in, other countries, because like you said, weed's weed, man. You want to fucking blaze a blunt, bro. Go for it.
Exactly. But like you said, America is very much in the minority of places in the world that are very liberal on the stance of weed, of marijuana, we should call it, because that's the technical term. But
all right. Hey. That's some Kush. Call it Kush.
Call it whatever you want to call it. Kush, tree, gas, fire, whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever. And if that's what you want to do. I believe Miss Richardson is gonna run in the relays. They said she'd be allowed to, so still has a chance at gold over in Tokyo. But will miss her 100-meter dash, which is what she was looking to try to break the world record in, and was looking to take off as a star. Nike did in fact release a statement saying that while they understand what happened, and they kind of know that Richardson is accepting the suspension, they have zero plans of dropping her as an athlete, which I thought was pretty cool, because she is one of the best and fastest women alive, and doesn't deserve to lose a bunch of stuff because of, especially now in 2021, where most people can walk down the street and buy it from a store.
Right.
And the bad thing is these trials were in a state where the legalization of marijuana was very much a thing and has been for quite a while. So just a big story that came about just because it's about the Olympics and because it was about one of the United States' most premier athletes going there. But something that really is just okay. This happened. She broke the rule. We all see that marijuana is really not that big of a deal. But the rule was still there, and America can't change it. So I don't know what to tell you. But that's a lot about one story from the Olympics, and we got a lot to go.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, America can't change that. America is obviously the most progressive country in the world. There's a lot of people that will tell me that America is not the most progressive country in the world, but you're wrong. And you can tweet at me, you can get me on Facebook, Instagram. I'll just tell you straight up, America is the most progressive country in the world.
Boy, do we have problems, but we probably are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at what's going on in other countries throughout. But this is a sports podcast, so we're moving on from that. NASCAR. What did I say last week?
Man, I'm going to give you due because you called it. You called your boy Chase Elliott being a hell of a runner, a hell of a driver when it comes to these road courses. And
what I say,
he delivers.
I said he's pushing for Jeff Gordon's title on road courses. And what happened? Go on.
Ethan Nostradamus, I give it to you. Chase Elliott does win Sunday's Jockey Made in America road course race in Elkhart, Wisconsin. He is the reigning NASCAR Cup Series champion. In lap 46 of a scheduled 63, he did pass Kyle Busch to then lead the rest of the way, taking his second win of the year. In another just impressive road course showing for Chase Elliott. He continues to dominate anytime any racer's got to turn left. Chase Elliott's the one to make it happen. Or right, I should say. They turn left all the time. But rounding out the top two, you got Christopher Bell at 2, Kyle Busch at 3. My boy William Byron did not have a good showing on Sunday, finishing 33rd in the race. At least he finished the race. Just another exciting road course race in Elkhart, Wisconsin, who hosted their first race over 65 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've done like Formula One, they've done IndyCar, they've done motorcycle races, but yeah, since the first time that NASCAR was there, they haven't had them back. They've had Xfinity. Xfinity's been there since 2010, but they haven't had the Cup Series in a while. I think the first time they put out a thing to get the Cup Series was in 2014. So, what was that, 7-8 years ago?
Yeah, and this is the first time they've actually got it in 65 years.
Yeah, so they put that out. They put that out back then, but hey, Chase Elliott, I'm telling you, man, Chase Elliott is the next Jeff Gordon. He can run the road courses. He can do all of this. He is a fantastic driver. I've been trying to tell you. I think you understand by now, and I understand about William Byron, but Chase Elliott is going to break Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon's record, because Tony Stewart had 8 career wins on road courses. Jeff Gordon had 9. So he's at 7 right now. He's going to break it and just, yeah. I mean,
he might blow through
it. The kid's like a year older than you. So
I'm saying he might blow through it. If he wants to drive, he's got another 15 to 20 years on the course.
Yeah.
On a track to try to get 2 more wins. Like, he's right there with him. He'll blow that out. For sure. Next race, though, is on Sunday. It's called the Quaker Stake 400 presented by Walmart. It's another 400-mile race, 260 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Their synopsis is Sunday's Quaker Stake 400 presented by Walmart's NASCAR Cup Series event is the 115th race hosted by Atlanta Motor Speedway in the series history. It's a 1.5-mile tri-oval racetrack, has a racing surface with 24 degrees of banking in the turns and 5 degrees on the straightaway. Track first opened in 1960. The Cup Series inaugural race was won by Fireball Roberts.
What a name.
What a name. If you're going to go racing, might as well be called Fireball.
Right. Who do you have taking this?
Man, my boy, I'm going with my boy. You called your boy last week. I decided to stay away from him. My boy goes to 33rd. Your boy wins the race. My boy tends to run very highly at the top in these 400-mile races. He's got a lot of top 3 finishes. I'm taking him to get another win this year. William Byron's going to win this race on Sunday.
All right. I'm trying to envision who's gonna win this race. Give me Kevin Harvick.
Okay, pulled that one out of a random hat. I gotcha.
Kevin Harvick.
Did not think you were going with that
well.
car.
He's done well at Atlanta. So give me Kevin Harvick. Hey, you know what? Say what you want about me, but I know a little thing about NASCAR.
I gotcha. Kevin Harvick was one name I wasn't thinking. I was thinking you might call Denny Hamlin. I was thinking maybe Keselowski.
Too easy.
Or Logano.
Too easy.
Or
too
I
easy
thought
for those
I
guys.
thought you might be like, well, Larson's been pretty good aside from the road course finish, so maybe he'll return to glory and get back on his dominance. But pulled Kevin Harvick, who needs a win because he's still in the
Give me
playoffs.
Kevin Harvick.
He's still in the playoffs, but he's low on that list, so he needs a win. That's a good one, my man. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know a little thing about NASCAR here and there.
How about you pulling? I gotcha. How about you pulling that stat out of your head? I didn't even that Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart road course win stat.
Hey, like I said, ever since I was a little kid, ever since I was about 4 or 5, I used to every single Sunday watch the races with my dad. So I know a thing or two.
It's a fun time. I'm glad I got back into it. I'm glad we talk about it now. I never thought in a million years, a couple years ago, that I'd be on a podcast that regularly talks NASCAR, but it's one of the funnest things, and I know that's not a word, but one of the more fun things I've ever done in my life.
So one thing, when we started, or the NASCAR season started, and we were talking about races because, there's nothing else on except for NBA. So Ian was actually texting me, and he was like, "So you guys are a NASCAR podcast now?"
Bro, what else were we going to talk about in April of last year?
That's what he was like, "Yeah, all you guys do is talk about NASCAR," and that's what I said to him. Like, what else are we going to talk about?
What, like literally not stuff. And I stopped myself from saying it, but nothing was going on in April of last year. We had racing, horse racing, nothing. That's it.
Right.
Like, what else?
Even this year too, the same thing. And it was like, yeah, like, what are we going to talk about? The Cavs that just lose every single game?
The Cavs that somehow put Kevin Love on the Olympic team, who played like 20 games this year and was trashed the entire time.
Only reason he's on that team is because of his name.
It's definitely a name recognition pool. And I guarantee you he got that invite and was like, they invited me? Yeah, I'll play.
Right.
He was
now he's running that. He invested in the wine company with Channing Frye.
I mean, that was a big
Yeah,
part
but
of that
yeah.
Cavs team was their love of wine together. So I mean, but like, is Kevin Love ever going to return to the Cavs to be Kevin Love, or is he going to get embarrassed in this Olympics? Is what I want to know. In a roster that has some of the young, best of the best guys, the elite of the elite guys on it, Kevin Love, if it weren't for Draymond Green, might be the worst name on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it because I like Kevin Love so much as a player and as a person and everything like that, but you're right. I mean, hey, when they traded or when they released um Bernie Kosar from the Browns and they said diminishing skills, Bernie didn't have diminishing skills. You know who has diminishing skills? Kevin Love.
You want the bad part is I say that he's worse than Draymond Green because of my hatred for that man because he's a Golden State Warrior. But I think in their current state, I'd rather have Draymond Green running my offense.
I mean, I wouldn't want Draymond Green anywhere near the city of Cleveland besides them playing in the finals.
Yeah, but as of right now, he's a better basketball player than Kevin Love. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's stayed healthy. He's played full seasons. Yeah, I can see that.
It's very unfortunate, but it's true. But we just went from NASCAR to basketball. We skipped right over MLB, and we still got some stuff to go on in basketball. So
Okay.
let's get into the Indians, who are struggling as of late. They have lost 6 in a row. Not quite sure what happened in the game today. I can look it up in a second.
They lost.
So let's make that 7 in a row before we finished recording on a Monday night. Started losing the final 2 against against the Tigers earlier this week. I make myself laugh as I look down at our rundown. They got swept by the Astros.
Oh no! This is a live read. Top of the 7th, Indians 8, Rays 6.
Okay, so we don't have a final score on that yet, but the Indians are.
While I'm wearing a Tampa Bay shirt.
I was gonna say they're playing your boys, so I mean that's a battle of the Ethans right there clashing. The Indians currently got a two run lead in the series opener there, but getting swept by the Astros over the weekend. Injuries are really what's going on.
I'm sorry. How do you spell Astros on the rundown here?
That's why I kept enunciating it. For those of you that don't know and can't read our stuff, which is everyone besides me and Ethan, I decided to write down that they got swept by the ASS Tros. The Astros and that's just a personal hatred for those guys. Screw the Houston Astros.
I think everybody outside of Houston hates those guys.
And I think this is a video we're gonna have to clip and put out. You know what I'm saying? We need to
absolutely.
Us as Any Given Podcast has to capitalize on the fact that I'm not sure if I've heard anybody call them the Astros, and so
there you go.
I've heard the asterisks, but let Any Given Podcast formally say that they are now the Astros. 2 separate words. But back to the injuries. As we talked about last week, Josh Naylor gets the fractured ankle, dislocated ankle, whatever they ended up calling it. Serious injury, most likely done for the year. I won't even say most likely, done for the year. Maybe not back before the start of next year. Shane Bieber was already out. Aaron Savali recently went out. Jordan Luplow, who had a decent start to his season, out. Franmil Reyes has found his way back into the lineup after rehabbing in Columbus over the last few weeks. Plesac reportedly ready to come back sometime soon. Still have no word on Bieber. Still no word on Savali. Still no word on Luplow. Just And if you go through that and think about it, that's your number one pitcher, your number two pitcher, your number three pitcher. I mean, we were talking the other day, and I was joking around, and I was like, dude, like Cal Quantrill is their ace right now, and he was a bullpen guy to start the year. But like they have Jason Mejia pitching, Logan Allen pitching. Where is Tristan McKenzie? I know like he pitches every once in a while, but he was supposed to be a staple in that lineup this year after some of the performances he put out last year. Some other guys. Austin Henches is pitching way more than he was supposed to this year. Just so for the Indians to only be single digits back of the top of the AL Central, nearly halfway through the year, is wild to me, considering where they're at. But they're headed towards one of the toughest stretches they'll have all year in the month of July.
Absolutely, and like you said about Tristan McKenzie, yeah, he was supposed to be one of the top pitchers. He was supposed to be in the starting lineup. He just had those 5 bad games to where they sent him down to the minor leagues. They kept just sending him back down there because he was giving up runs and whatnot. Who knows? Like you said, Plesac's about to come back. Bieber, hopefully after the All-Star break, is coming back. Reyes, he came back. He came back over the weekend.
Yeah, he had a home run tonight.
Yeah, so you get some of these guys coming back. Obviously, we don't have the starting lineup that we should have, and that's the big thing. But we have so many guys in our farm system to where they can come back or even come up, and do all this while Bieber's still rehabbing, like all these guys are still on the IL. So
it definitely has been reassuring to me to, like you said, see all these farm system guys come up and just fill the roles. The Indians stay afloat and stay in this thing despite the world seeming to fall down for them. My question was with Tristan is like, I understood why he got sent down, but now it seems like they're calling everyone up but him. Like he
Right.
just completely lost his baseball talent or something. Is kind of where I was at with Tristan McKenzie is that they have abandoned him pretty much to the point where Logan Allen's getting call ups again. And like he was supposed to be at the lowest, your fourth pitcher this year, but really was expected to maybe be the third or even compete with Plesac for second coming into the year. And now it looks like he's a lost cause and might not even be playing minor league baseball next year in a Cleveland Indians system.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing, because he came up in 2020, Dr. Sticks, like he was supposed to be the next big thing. I mean, obviously not bigger than Shane Bieber, but he was supposed to be the next big thing for the Cleveland Indians. I heard a lot of people talking about that he was supposed to be the next CC, which, I mean, obviously he's not as big as CC, but he's got the height, he's got the pitches and everything like that. So, strange thing with him not being brought up. Like they did it a couple times this year, but not like you said, like Logan Allen and all these guys coming up. It's a strange thing. But you know what? That's why I'm not a GM of a baseball team or a head coach.
Because it's, I mean, I imagine they sit in Columbus and just watch these guys play. It's just it's baffled me that we have seen people pitch or names pitch for the Indians this year that we didn't think we'd see for a year, maybe even two. Um, so
Yeah.
so 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 with them still being afloat in that AL Central and even in the wild card race is mind blowing. And people are still calling them at most a 500 baseball team. I think they get some of these injuries back. Uh, a battle through this tough month of July. As you said, they're already leading. They already got a lead against the Rays, a very good Rays team, um, already on in that series opener. I imagine that game will probably end right about when we're done here. But just for the Indians, stay afloat, keep yourself in the race, get healthy, find out where you are at the end of 162, because that's where it's at. But going off of that, do you have anything else baseball related that you want to talk about? Whether it be Shohei being the first to hit 30 this year, or All Star lineups were released and we didn't talk about those at all. But
I can just add, speaking of, like you said, the All-Star lineup, Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber, the only two All-Stars out of the Cleveland Indians lineup. Obviously, Shane can't play, and Jose, he's going to be coming off the bench, but either way, good to see those two in the All-Star game.
yeah, and those two were probably two you looked at the beginning of the year and were like, yeah, they're probably going to be All Stars this year, and there's deservedly so. They're the two best players on the Indians. But moving on from baseball into the NBA, the playoffs have winded down. Two teams are set. The NBA Finals are here starting Tuesday night. Any given podcast favorite team, the Phoenix Suns, represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals, and they'll go against the Milwaukee Bucks, the Phoenix Suns being the host team. Giannis had a knee injury, missed the final two games of the series against the Hawks, but the Bucks still took care of business and found themselves in the NBA Finals. So give Giannis his due, I guess, because he's here. But give the due to his team quite a bit for getting him here. If he comes back and plays like the MVP he is, this could be a long series for the Suns. But if Giannis isn't Giannis coming back into the NBA Finals, and even if he is, I'm gonna say book the Phoenix Suns as NBA champions.
I mean, do I have to say anything about the Suns?
I mean, playoffs have been going on for about a month now. We've been harping on it for 3 or 4 weeks. That even when they were playing LeBron and the Lakers, and we tend to root for LeBron even if he's not a Cav. We saw it then that the Suns weren't some team to taken lightly, and in a year where we've seen a plethora of injuries, youth seems to be the one thing that keep the Suns going. DeAndre Ayton has turned into one of the world's premier centers in basketball. Devin Booker has been a star for years. Add in Hall of Famer Chris Paul, and they got a dynamic three that I think a lot of teams found out shouldn't have been taken lightly.
Yeah, I mean they beat the world champions in the first round. And I was the first one to say this from game 1. I said this last year to you. Suns are going to win the championship. I told you last year during the bubble games, book it. Didn't work out that way, right?
Yeah.
Didn't happen to work out that way. But I said this year, I said book it. They got CP3 in there. They're going to be way more deadly than they were last year. And look how it's turned out. I mean, hey, Suns at 4.
I mean, how about that chilling video of CP3 and Monty Williams, where CP3 was like, "I can't calm down, coach. I can't calm down." He's like, "You gotta calm down, dude. You're in the NBA Finals."
Oh, when they're hugging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Great video. I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it. A 16-year-long career, and he hasn't been to the finals yet. Finally, he makes it there with a whole young team. Like, he's the leader of this team, and he finally makes it with this young team. He deserves it, man. Go cry.
Yeah.
You know?
Very
it's not
much
like
so.
It's not like he's crying to be like, oh, hoo boo boo boo, I scraped my tricycle. No, he's crying because he's in the NBA Finals for the first time in 16 years. He watched all of his friends, except for Melo, win championships.
Yeah, he's one of the last tiers of LeBron's friends to just not have one and never have gotten a shot to play with him. Like you said, like Melo, who's that banana boat crew that just doesn't have a title. I'm excited for it, man. The NBA Finals are usually when I'm the most intently watching basketball. I could tell you I plan to sit in front of a TV tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and hopefully watch the Suns get game 1 in the Valley.
Yeah, I plan on sitting in front of the TV too at 9 p.m. Oh wait, I have to work. That's right.
Sorry, man. Stream it on your phone.
Oh, that's what I got the laptop for.
Yeah, what they don't know won't hurt you, my man. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get caught. And we'll be all right. You know what I'm and they probably understand. They're like, man, you run a sports podcast. You're
right.
A sports guy. This is very much in the know. This is the news. This is the NBA Finals. It should be on TVs all over OMS anyways.
Right. Hey, as long as I can do my job, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I could listen to CP3 hit this mid-range shot and help this lady edit her podcast or something.
Right.
It's all gravy. But you want to go ahead and finish off the show with this day in sports history?
So this day in sports history, July 5th, 1947, Larry Doby becomes the first ever African-American player to play in the American League. This happens just 3 months after Jackie Robinson. 3 months after Jackie Robinson broke the complete Major League Baseball color barrier. Here comes Larry Doby. The Indians purchased his contract. July 5th, 1947, he becomes the first ever American League minority to play the game.
Just one of those things that unfortunately gets swept under the rug, and we reflected on it a couple months ago around Jackie Robinson Day, because Tito, Indians manager Terry Francona, said that Larry Doby deserves to have his own day because he is, like you said, the man that broke the color barrier in the American League. So when an opportunity like this comes up, and we get to talk about it in a light like this, where it's this day in sports history, and it is very much one of the biggest parts of history when it comes to Major League Baseball. Was this happening, and to the point where they need to do kind of the same situation. Nobody ever wears his number again, unless it's that day. We could have annual games on July 5th where everyone wears Larry Doby's number too. Okay, or if you don't want to copy Jackie Robinson Day, find something else to do. Find something to honor Larry Doby. Not even coming as a Cleveland Indians fan, coming as a fan of baseball. This is something that historically needs to be honored.
Absolutely, and I have one of the mini statues of Larry Doby sitting on my desk right now. And yeah, they obviously retired the number 14 at Progressive Field. You know, it's up there in the not the bleachers, the up there in the nosebleeds. You know, when they retire numbers.
Yeah.
He's got number 14 retired up there. And so I obviously I respect Larry Doby. I respect what he has done for baseball in general. Obviously, respect Jackie Robinson, but a lot of people don't understand or don't know about Larry Doby.
Yeah.
And that's something that should be taught alongside of Jackie Robinson. They need to teach that the same way that they teach Jackie Robinson's past, because he did the same thing. Jackie Robinson was National League, he was American League.
Yeah, and two leagues that seem like they're together now, but back in that time were very separate entities. They weren't under the blanket of Major League Baseball. They were two very separate, very separate entities. So it is a big deal in not only American League history, baseball history. I can't continue to keep harping on it because I keep saying the same thing. Just something that needs to be honored, Larry Doby. But back to just to kind of circle back to basketball, because I did get a notification. The Bucks did list Giannis Antetokounmpo as doubtful for Game 1 tomorrow night.
Oh shit!
So
pardon my French. So he's not going to be playing tomorrow.
He's doubtful. I can't guarantee he won't play, but it's not looking so.
Well, let's see how it goes, because I don't want any excuses if the Suns win, to where it goes like, oh, we didn't have the Greek Freak. You guys just stole that from us.
It's already the trending thing to say that the season doesn't count because of injuries. But like that happens every year. So I'm not let's take Kawhi and the Raptors title away from 2 years ago because Kevin Durant got injured. No. The Raptors won their first ever title 2 years ago. Like, no, that happens.
So did Clay.
Right? Like that stuff happens. And the Warriors haven't been right since.
Yeah.
Clay hasn't stepped on a court since.
He tried to come back, and then that's when his ACL went.
Yeah, but he never, like an NBA court, I should say, because he got hurt practicing himself.
Yeah, that is true.
So, like, yeah.
And then, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna be like, yeah. So that stuff happens.
Same with KD. KD ended up just going to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that happens. What do you think? You want to wrap this up?
Yeah. I believe I covered everything that I needed to cover. Kudos to Ohio State football for getting 5 of the nation's top 10 recruits for the class of 2022. So never been done before in school history. Also, shout out. You're gonna be mad at me for taking this because you're the reason I saw it. Shout out to Isaac Vance, Barstool athlete.
Shout out to all the Kent State guys that are now signed with Barstool.
He was the only one I saw, but yeah, all these Kent State guys.
They got a couple. They got a track runner and then a couple other football guys. So
we didn't even talk about next name, image, likeness, but July 1st it went live. College athletes can get paid now. Name, image, likeness.
NCAA needs to come back ASAP.
Oh, it will. They're planning to 2022, which is like next week.
There we go. I need that video game back like crazy.
I seen someone post something the other day that says 2022 is in less than 6 months, and I was just lost. because it is.
Oh, gee. Oh God, it is. Yeah,
it's 5 months away.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's.
I
Wild.
remember when it was 2010.
Right, like I can remember high school like it was 2 days ago.
Right.
Like it feels like I was just in high school.
That is pretty crazy. But you can follow me on Twitter at ETH Simpson. Yes, that is Simpson, like Orenthal James, OJ Simpson. That is ETH Simpson, CGOD on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram at ETH Simpson. That's ETH Simpson. You could follow him at...
Thank you for giving me this idea, but you can follow me on Twitter at BWard. Yes, like Denzel. But also like Denzel, we got to finish with the CLE at the end because, you know, our boy plays for the Cleveland Browns. You can follow me on Instagram, b.ward52. 52 is the old football number. Everything else is the same, as you know. Do not forget to follow the podcast at Podcast Given on Twitter. Instagram is at Any Given Podcast. Facebook.com/Any Given Podcast. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Check out KentStagePosters.com. Get your Numbers Don't Lie shirt. Have a wonderful and fantastic rest of your week.
God bless. Stay blessed.
The solo man, I've been holding fine. You can't play with my emotions, shorty. I'm controlling mine. Sipping fine wine to the ground behind shine. As long as they know it's yours, you don't whine about the time. I've been dining, I've been out today. Not today, it's been a cold motherfucking 9 years. I'm hot today. I usually give a fuck about your opinion, not today. I usually feel a whole lot of tension, not today. It's like God came right up out of the sky, stole all the niggas with pride. You gon' ruin that nigga vision, not today. Money getting niggas bitches out today. Some thumping bass system with the kickers out today. I'm in my zone, shit, how you feeling, huh? All on my own, shit, how I'm running. Told a bitch, get your ass back up on this pole. I know you coming, see your hand, I wait my nigga. Do I know or owe you something? No. Oh, I know you frontin', try to stop my roll or something. Not today, no. Nah, it's not the day. Wait, that was a hoe? It's not a day? I guess you're telling me that I done sold a lot today. Yeah, shoe was not to play. The truth without debate. That new 21 Scatic, I might pull it out today. People's on the dash and do the full amount today. Nigga, you owed me in the past, I want the full amount today. My thought them winning got a class, but I might pull her out today. Nigga, yeah. All on my own shit, how I'm running. Told a bitch, get your ass back up on this pole. I know you coming, see your hand. Wait, my nigga, do I know or owe you something? No. Oh, I know you frontin', trying to stop my roll or something. Not today, yeah. Said your little bitch look hot today. Shoot from the back, I want that box. I'm trying to get that top today. Lean on my savage for that spot. I'm trying to hit the top today. This would not be safe. Then trick the cop today. It's true. All on my own shit, how I'm running. Told a bitch, get your ass back up on this pole. I know you coming, see your hand that way, my nigga. Do I know or owe you something? No. Oh, I know you frontin', trying to stop my roll or something. Not today, not today. Yeah, I like all that, man. Keep that. That's it.